All right, welcome everybody. It is the 29th of May. Can you believe it, Steve? We've actually worked through a whole nother month gone, just of 2018, just like that. By the end of the week here, it is going to be the 1st of June. That means we're going to be starting the 6th month of the year. Can you guys believe that? But I'm really excited about week number 7 here of the Fast Track program for the Simple Passive Crypto Income team. And I have a special guest with us today, not only then Steve McCullough, who is the founder and co-owner of Kgx again. So thank you, Steve, for joining us today. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate being here today, Ryan. And if you would like, I'll just take off. You want me to do that?
Sure. Let me do a little explainer where there's somebody missing here that everybody's used to seeing on the call here. That's Jody. She was just way too happy and always, doing the right thing. So we thought we'd just kick her off for the meeting for the week and send her on vacation. So she is actually in, what did she say, Darwin, Steve? Did she say that?
I can't remember the name because I was in Hamilton Island years ago, right by where she's at. And she said they're close by, but it's right there by the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah, so she's out there by the Great Barrier Reef, everybody, and so she's sipping drinks on the beach right now, and can't seem to get Wi-Fi. So can't seem to get Wi-Fi, right? So, which is good. I told her that she should probably make sure she goes on and stays on this vacation. So everybody, make sure when I hit the email at the end of this presentation, I sent it to you that I copied Jody on. Everybody, wish her well and wish her to come back well rested because she's had a rough couple of years here, and so she deserves this break. So thanks everybody for joining us today, and this is being recorded right now, so if you are coming in late or going to be missing this today, because there was a few that emailed me, said they couldn't make it today just because of funerals and other things. We'll miss you guys, but we'll see you guys in the recording. So Stephen, without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to you, man, and let you get cranking on it.
Okay, what I would like to do is kind of do an overview of the compensation plan. And a few other things, actually. The company, just real quick heads up here, we're in over 80 countries now. We're almost 2 months old in pre-launch. We have our languages. What they're doing right now is just keep you up on everything. You'll know more than everybody. The programmers are finalizing the piece where we can start putting up the multiple languages of translation. It's all developed, but we actually had to get the testing behind us. And so now, they've got the languages like Spanish and Portuguese and Italian and Russian and Tagalog, which is Filipino. Those 6 languages, and I think one other, but right off the top of my head, I'm not sure what it is, those are done. So those languages are text translated into 45 lessons and voiced over. And now the programmers are going to start putting those languages up because although we're concerned mainly about growing first in the USA, we have to be prepared to grow across the world as we begin to build the company. We just exceeded 2,900 members. So, this call, the numbers on these calls, they begin small. And then when we get people engaged and believing in what we're doing, that's when the numbers grow. I just got back from Chicago this weekend meeting with a big leader, and he put together a meeting of 20 leaders there in Chicago on Friday evening. And like we were saying here before this call, on June the 8th, which is a Friday, we're doing a Bitcoin boot camp, and we're actually flying all of our trainers in. And we would have gave more notice, but this is actually kind of a model for us. This is for us to test a model of possibly traveling America and doing one-day boot camps for cryptocurrency. Some people do blockchain boot camps, but cryptocurrency is really more where the people fit in. Blockchain's more where the programmers fit in and the big corporations, but cryptocurrency is more where we fit in. So just kind of catching you up on what's going on. So we'll go to the blog here in a minute and look at that. Just so you'll see how this all works, we began building in Nigeria. And on the blog in a minute, I'll go to Nigeria. They had about 40 people in that Nigerian meeting. That's how it starts. A lot of people don't get it, that it starts with me and then you and then a couple more and then a few more and then hundreds more and then thousands more. But you got to realize there's a starting point. And it's all in what you do and how you move forward and how you utilize our phone calls and send people to our calls and how you get engaged and how much you believe in what we're about to do that makes this all work. So the reason I like to travel the country and I like to do meetings across the country is because I believe in what we're doing. And when I share that belief, people can believe in what we're doing. And that's what's so important is this is a timing thing. It's the perfect timing. You're in the right place at the right time. You're in the beginning of cryptocurrency. In 2017, cryptocurrency made its move across the world. Well, that's great. Well, in 2018, everybody's realized nobody even understands it at all. And so the education is the key to cryptocurrency. And in our case, taking the education to the world is the key to us. And so the Bitcoin that we can earn by educating the world is what we're here to learn about today and kind of how it really works. So I'm going to walk through this compensation part of this presentation, and I'm going to keep it really easy because it is. And once you realize how easy it is, like, okay, I got that. I probably shouldn't get so caught up in trying to dissect it and figure out how it all works. Every time someone makes a sale, they get paid a direct referral bonus of $100. No qualifications. You just make a sale, you get paid every time. You get paid in Bitcoin and you get paid the following week. The funny thing is, though, you have to put your wallet in the system. So when you join our program, go to the personal info area and put your blockchain.info wallet or your Coinbase wallet or your cold storage wallet, whatever wallet address it is. And if you don't understand that, we teach you. But we can't pay you till you put your wallet in the system. And the reason I'm laughing is because we probably have about $10,000 worth of people's money that we can't pay them yet. And we do send them emails saying, hey, put your wallet in the system so we can pay you. One of them actually singularly has about $975 coming in Bitcoin. And so you would think that he would put his wallet in the system. It's kind of funny. Anyway, then we got customer acquisition bonuses. We pay you more if you bring a customer. Good enough. And then we got the Cryptonary, and it's make 2 sales and you're qualified for life. And then the Cryptonary matching bonus, the same 2 sales qualify for your life. But before I even show you any slides, I'm just going to say, here's how it works. Every time you make a sale, you make $100. Okay. And then once you're qualified for the Cryptonary, every time 3 sales are made by your team with 1 on the left and 2 on the right or vice versa, you make $25. And then there's a fork. And so what's a fork? Well, a fork, just like when Bitcoin forked and, it like did that, and it's supposed to make things run better, be more productive, and actually because of that, be more financially productive for everyone. There's a fork in the Cryptonary. So every time that you make a sale in that given pay period, we pay you double or more. So for every 3 sales coming in, you make $25. Or you could make $50. Just by having made a sale that week, we put you into a bonus program where we have a certain amount of money we pay out a week, and we let the people who are building the program, therefore, earn bigger incomes. And actually, it's been $100 lately. So I'll run through the compensation plan, get to the fork, and cover it real good. So every time you make a sale, you make $100. I can't really complicate that, okay? Once you sell 3, it's free. All right. The reason we say this is because so many people are interested in knowing, how do I get my money back? Okay. So once you sell 3, the most you could have invested was $300. So you earn $100 per sale. And there you go. And then I don't really focus on this side a whole lot. I tell it to you, but I just don't stick on it because you made $100 for the sale. But if they chose to become a customer, we pay you an additional $25. So we all know on this call that it costs $250 to buy our product, but it costs $300 if you want to participate with us. So that gets you the product and a global business for $300. And so every time you make a sale to a customer, you make 100, make a sale to a promoter, you make 100. But on the customer, we throw you another $25 bonus. It's an incentive to bring customers. But that kind of all changed because now we have mining rigs. So here's the Cryptonary. And I'm going to do this as a training for you. If you were going to present this program, we'd prefer to present it for you on our presentation calls that we do on, Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights, and Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays at 3, which is all on the blog. We'd prefer to present it for you. But the reason this program will attract so many people is because you only have to make 2 sales to qualify. That's very important in this industry because if you go into many, many programs, you got to do this and you got to do that, and you got to do this and you got to do that, and you got to keep doing this and keep doing that, and that just got real confusing. So you got to make 2 sales to qualify, and you're qualified for life for those $25 payments in that binary that pays every 3 sales. So the other thing about this is really important to you is you only have to build 2 teams. You build a left and a right team. And that's important because when you put more people in, you put them down below the other people, and it creates teamwork. So it starts slow. Hey, it starts slow. 20 years ago, I built a company, and I worked on that company for 4 years till I got to the first sale. So if I included me and then I counted the second guy, 4 years later, I got to the second sale. So I must have been crazy or believed in the idea because then we put 2 million members in. See, it starts slow, you be persistent, and it duplicates. But you've got to follow the process of making contacts, giving people information, sending people the calls, and putting them on the phone. Now, the thing happens is the green badge means you sponsored. I mean, this is pretty simple, but we want to understand this. You sponsored the first two. Now, notice how they're right up against you. That won't always be the case. You might join and a few people might spill over and your first person may be down a little ways. But just so you'll know, they won't always be up against you. But when you put in your third person, they fall down to the first available position on the outside team because you're building two teams. So they fall right or they fall left depending on how you have your legs locked in the back. So now what we got is what's called the cryptonary fork. And this is the way that works. Every time 3 sales are made by your team, you're going to see it on the screen. I can't point at it because you're not behind me. I'm used to being in front of a room. Every time 3 sales are made, you make $25. Okay, that's the program. That's how it works. So 1 sale on this side and 2 on the other made by you or members of your team, you make a $25 binary bonus. But because of the fork, if you make a sale in that given week of a $250 product or a $300 product or a mining rig, if you make a sale of any of those 3 items, it puts you up into the fork pay, which it says up to $50. Well, that's double your money. What did you do different? Nothing. You just made a sale. So, and all you did was make a sale. And let me turn that off, and I know who it is, and I'll call them back. Okay. Sorry about that. So you make a sale, and it incentivizes us to pay you. Why would we do that? Hey, we want to motivate people to work. So let's discuss this for a minute because we can go on down and show the slides, but what we've done for the last 2 weeks is it's paid $100 a pay step. So let's get into binary mode here. Every 3 sales is a pay step. Every 3 sales creates a pay step. If 1's on the left and 2 on the right or vice versa, it doesn't matter. It's a pay step. And so if you're not working this week, I mean, you're trying, but you're not working, but 3 sales come into your team and you weren't involved in those 3 sales, we'll pay you a $25 pay step. But on this slide right here, it says 50. Well, it also says up to 50, so we'll pay you a $50 pay step if you made a sale that week. And the reason we're saying 50 and not bigger is because we'd rather over-deliver. And so what I mean by that is for the last 2 weeks, based on the percentages created by the strange binary mathematical model, we paid out $100 a pay step. So if you were supposed to get 25, but you made a sale, well, of course, when you make a sale, you make your $100. It has nothing to do with the binary. And then in the binary pay step, we paid out 100. So people who have been involved in the last 2 weeks, and I can give you a really good legal example, not enticement example. This is a training presentation. There was a guy that had $400, just one guy. I'm not going to give you bigger examples. He had $400 coming in the binary. He was shocked when he got $1,600. So he had made a couple of sales. There's his 100, his 100. He'd sold a mining rig. There's his 500. He'd sold a couple of mining rigs, so there's that money. But his pay steps equaled 12 pay steps times $25. Maybe I did that wrong. 16 pay steps times $25. My math was off. Was $400.
Wow.
But that same 16 pay steps times $100 was $1,600. So we didn't even tell people the first week we were going to do it. And the reason we didn't tell people is because we were still, this is a huge mathematical equation where the binary comes in, it creates a model of percentages based on where the team is growing left or right. Or it's really an equation that creates itself. And once we had 4 weeks of history, we could tell what it was doing. And we felt safe saying we could pay the people who made sales double. Well, we'll pay you quadruple, or we'll pay you triple, or we'll pay you double. It depends on what the percentages do each week. So it's going to fluctuate between $50 and $100. But when you think you're going to make 25 and you get 100, you're pretty happy. You think you're going to make 400, you get 1,600, you're really happy. And so that's how the fork works. It's designed to pay the people who are producing sales. Because if we pay you to produce sales, then you'll produce sales. And so that's how we want that to work. It's very unusual. I've never seen it done in a binary before. So the fork binary is very different here. But it's also very incentivizing because the last company I built years ago had the same compensation plan. It actually required you to have 9 sales for $75 instead of 3 for $25. That's the same compensation plan. And so no matter what people did each week, as it grew and grew and grew and grew and grew, they got paid their number. But if you pay the workers more, because really there's a certain amount of people at work, everybody else will work more with them, you'll build a bigger company faster. So right now, we're just 2 months old. We're in over 80 countries. we're very happy with where we are. We're just now setting the foundation. We've done a Houston meeting. We did a Tampa meeting with the major leader by the name of Rick Ricketts out in Florida. And now we're doing the Chicago meeting with Dr. Kenneth Lewis. And the people I'm naming right now, these are monstrous networkers in this industry. And so you're in the beginning phases of us building a foundation. You know, it's like building a house. We got to build the foundation before we can stand up the walls. And so right now we're building the foundation. So going on through the compensation plan, just to keep it real simple, here we are. There you are at the top, and you make your first sale on the right, and you make $100. And then that guy makes a sale, and, well, he makes his $100, but we don't show that here because we're talking about you. And now you got 2 sales on the right side. So you make your next sale on the left, you make $100. Well, it just so happens if that was your whole week combined, you would get that $50 pay step bonus, which right now is between 100 or 50, but we're going to use 50 for sake of conversation. So that one sale on the left would have made you $150. And that's the way it works. It just pays you double. And it pays you double to bring sales into the company. We were always planning on forking. We just had to see where the numbers went before we could decide how high we could go. And like I said again, I like to repeat myself so you get it. We put it at $50 because when we pay you $75, you'll be happy. You know, if we put it at 100 and it went to 90, you'd be unhappy with us. But if it's at 50 and we pay you 100, you'll be like double happy. And so that's the way this works. So the way a binary works, and you really don't need to overcomplicate it in your mind. I've been around binaries for 20-something years, and there's no way you can completely understand them. There's no way. It's a mathematical model based on this. Every 2 sales over here generates money. And so when this one sale over here comes in, it uses some of this money and go grabs that money and pays you. It's just that simple. And so when a team gets really big and starts growing, and you know, it takes a few months to get that to happen. But once a team starts growing, you got like 100 points over here on the right, for example. Well, every time you make a sale on the opposite side, it reaches across and it grabs that other sale and combines those 3 and creates a pay step and sends you the money. It stores those points on that side. Now, this changes now because the reason we use points, why'd you use points instead of just sales? Because every customer sale and every promoter sale, there's $250, $300, they're worth a point. Each one of those is worth 1 point. But when people sell mining rigs, it's worth 3 points. And so we started selling mining rigs about 2 weeks ago. And I'm going to have a little mining rig conversation with y'all right here. We started selling mining rigs about 2 weeks ago. We sold 100 and something mining rigs. And I bet you won't mind if I jump in here and grab a little presentation and just run through
it. I'm excited about this part.
Okay. It won't take me but a second. I'm pretty organized half the time. Okay. I'm going to present it like this, but I'm going to explain it in greater detail. All right. Our SEC lawyers are telling us the only way we can legally sell mining rigs is if I sell it, the company sells it to you, Ryan.
Directly.
And you own it.
And I own it, yep.
Okay. And we own no proceeds off that rig.
Correct.
You own it.
Yep.
Okay, so basically we just took this and sold it to you, and it was a mining rig, and we delivered it to you, and now it's yours, but we're actually delivering it to a facility in Utah on your behalf. Mm-hmm. Now, you can have it moved to your home if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it, and I'll explain that in just a second. So Kgx offers independently owned crypto mining rigs. You can get them in Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, or Green X. Now, let's talk about Bitcoin for a minute. Back in 2009, when Bitcoin began mining, and people go, what is mining? You know, when Bitcoin began mining, you got a lot more coins. Okay, you got a lot more coins. And then it began doing what they call halving and halving and halving and halving. And so, you know, if anybody were to ask you, when will the last Bitcoin be mined? People are probably guessing a few years. It's in
120 years. Yeah, 122 years.
Yeah, the last Bitcoin will be mined in over 100 years. That's pretty freaking amazing, to be honest with you. So why is that important? The reason that's important is because in the beginning of mining a coin is when the most coins are generated. So I spoke with Rob Harris, who's one of our trainers today, and he said he started mining in 2013. And I think he said he mined Litecoin. I mean, I'm a little eludes me there, but I'm going to explain why I'm explaining this. Bitcoin had been mining for 4 years, and it already halved and halved and halved and halved. And so the farther you get into a coin's mining life, the less coins you mine. And the mining rigs are in big pools. And so they really work really hard to mine these coins. And so if you mine Bitcoin right now, obviously you're not going to get as many coins as you used to. And so we have this bottom rig down here called Green X. I'm going to give you my brief explanation of Green X, and I'd rather you go watch Brandon do a presentation on it because I don't want to make this a mining rig presentation. Here's what you need to know about Green X. It's going to start mining, I think, in the next 3 or 4 weeks for the first time ever. Now, when it starts mining, there's going to be 50 billion coins. In the first 6 months, they're going to mine 12.5 billion coins. So whoever owns the mining rigs in the first 6 months gets the most coins. In the second 6 months, they're going to mine 12.5 billion coins again. Then it's going to start halving, 6.25, 3 point, still a lot of billions of coins down to millions. Billions is a big number. And so the Green X coin, we can't disclose value or anything because the Green X coin is not going to be on the ICO. It's only going to be mined. And we have a gentleman flying into Chicago, by the way, from Green X to present the Green X mining rigs for us. And we'll have that recorded. And so the Green X coin is expected to go into the exchanges before July. So I was in Tampa and someone asked me, we've only sold just over 100-something rigs, but the guy asked me, what percentage of Green X rigs have you sold? 90.
Wow.
90. Why? Because of what I just said to you all. People realize that after they get a little bit more information on Green X, but the mining people understand mining, okay? And they've seen the presentation. They know what Green X is about. And so they want to be in at the beginning when it's given the most coins. So if the Green X coin has a nice, happy life, then they'll be in a very happy situation. So that's the 4 rigs, and they cost $37.50 a piece. And I don't even have to look through the rest of the presentation to present this. Whenever I have a customer who buys a rig, or you have a customer who buys a rig, you make $500. Okay, so there's where some of our commissions are coming from now. People are making 2 and 3 rig sales at once, and they're making $500, $1,500. And then 3 points start right at that customer and go up. And so now you understand why we had to do points, because other products will create different point values. And so now, let's just say that mining rig was over there on your inside team, and you made the sale. You would have made $500 plus 3 times at least 50 because you made the sale in that week. So that would have made you $650 to sell that mining rig. And so it made you $650 for each one. The reason I say that is because people are buying more than one.
Mm-hmm.
I've got people buying Bitcoin mining rigs and Bitcoin gold pretty much. That seems to be the rigs. The other 2 rigs they're buying. But 90% of these things are Green X rigs. And so it'll be a lot better to have more information on the Green X rig. But what interests me about the Green X rig is I know enough about what Green X is about. It's kind of funny. It's about using its own blockchain to transfer energy cost and share global energy cost. And it manages, because the way the blockchain sets up, the coin actually does you a better job of paying energy bills. But people are really about making money. Okay? Let's just be honest. So the Green X part is very attractive to the green people of the world who are real green. But you don't just want to pay your electric bills. You want to make money if you're going to own mining rigs. And so due to our SEC lawyers, we had to have this reviewed through the SEC lawyers, the white papers and things for this Green X, for them to approve us to sell this rig. And our SEC lawyers actually set up ICOs for people, so they understand this stuff. And so they said, yes, you can sell this. They were very happy with the product and the financing behind it and everything else that it takes to set one of these things up. So the Green X rig to me is the most intriguing part of this conversation, because we all hope for great things. We all want to be a part of something in the beginning, just like, right now we're a part of Kgx, a global marketing educational company. Well, I'm a part of that, but I also understand this Green X, and I'd like to be a part of it too. Okay, so I actually bought myself 4 rigs because I want to be a part of that, because anything in cryptocurrency comes with risk and it comes with rewards. And so the education gets you to the place where you got to weigh the risk against the reward. And, you know, some things come with great risk and some things come with great rewards. And so it just kind of depends on what kind of person you are. And I'm not a gambler, okay? I don't go to Las Vegas and gamble. If I go to Las Vegas, I go look around and see how pretty the town is and eat dinner. I just can't put $20 on a slot machine without making myself sick to my stomach. I'm just not a gambler. So when I get involved in something, I feel comfortable, or I don't do it. I'm just not the kind of person that can gamble. I just cannot stand to lose money. So now we're going to go right up here and move this out of our way and get to, well, I guess I'll have to bring it up. I'm going to go up here and make sure I'm not missing, just covering something. Okay, so we just exceeded 2,900 members. This is a meeting. You know, we'll have meetings all over the world. I mean, this is the way it's going to be. There'll be meetings all over the world. I was curious how big that picture would go if I did that. But the KGXs were beginning to grow in Nigeria. I think I saw about 15 signups in Nigeria over the weekend.
All right.
Okay, so we're just beginning. And this is the same thing, you know. In Chicago, here's this boot camp. Let me see what this says. It doesn't have all the information. It says, click here to purchase tickets on this. Well, because this is an all-day boot camp being put on for $59 or $79 or $99, but there's a buy one, get one free on the $59. $79 includes lunch. $99 includes dinner. There's a lot to this. We'll click on it and see where it takes us. It takes us to a lot greater explanation of the boot camp. And so this is a week from Friday that we're going to come into Chicago. And actually, we didn't know, we weren't planning on doing this whole boot camp. But once we met with Dr. Kenneth in Chicago, we saw that we could use our trainers and really turn this into something really good. And then once we informed our trainers, they were all very excited. And that's when we've been thinking about doing this anyway, you know, doing some, you know, perfecting it, and then doing some mass market media and then some radio advertising and coming to a market and make it very inexpensive to come. I mean, very inexpensive, maybe even less than this, because you got to get them to pay or they won't even show up. But what we want to use is then we could attract people, and after the boot camp in the evening, we could have a meeting. So people who don't need the boot camp could send people from your networks to the meetings at no charge, of course. So we could then do a presentation. So we would use the opportunity to present to the city and also train the city on cryptocurrency while we're there. And we think that would show the world, as we're beginning to stand up, that we're a very valid educational company, that we really want to teach America, because America, for some funny reason, is not starving for this information yet. Mm-hmm. But the rest of the world is. And it's very shocking to me that the rest of the world understands the importance of this and understands the importance of this shift in money. Because every dollar that I put in my bank and left in my bank last year pretty much stayed a dollar. Okay? Now there's risk and reward, but every Bitcoin I bought at $1,200, I don't care if it's down to $7,400. You know, I bought it at 12. And so Bitcoin's not the only coin. And with Kgx, we're getting some of our trainers right now are getting their Series 65 license. So we can actually legally give you information and not try to hide behind a wall, you know, of giving you information. We'd rather be able to legally give you information that we're gathering because, you know, I'll just tell you all a short story why. I have a cousin. I got him involved in Bitcoin in the last, probably about May. And what I did was I've been very busy, especially for the last 5 months, developing. And while I'm developing, I've gotten connected into this cryptocurrency circle. And I get these tips. And I'm so busy that I don't even use them. And I got a tip yesterday that I meant to use. And I'm so busy, I didn't use it. We're getting about 12% by the day, but you should gain 40%. Well, I kept telling him, every time I get a tip, my cousin would say, call me and tell me what the tips are. And so I got him involved in Bitcoin. I called him and I told him what my tips are. Well, about the last 7 months, I've given him 3 or 4 good tips. And he made $45,000. Well, I didn't even use the tips. And I had a lot more Bitcoin than he did. And I didn't use the tips because I was too busy. And even like last night when I was giving the tip was at 117. That's all I'm going to say. Later in the evening, it was at 111. And I told my wife, I said, it's at 111. And we were busy, you know. And then so today it's at like 120. And so it actually dropped farther than they thought it would. and they project a nice, a nice run, And so we want to be able to legally, with the Series 65 license guide, do weekly updates with trends, as we like to call them, market trends. Because if you knew a coin might be going to trend, you can catch the wave of that trend. And if you knew an ICO might be a scam, it'd be nice to know that ICO was a scam. Because there's risk and there's rewards, but with some education and us giving to you legal information, we hope to help you reward more. We want to try to guide you into the reward part of this instead of into the risk part. Because I'm the perfect example of losing Bitcoin and losing coins. I mean, I've done it. And it's not fun. I didn't mean to be gambling. I thought I knew what I was doing. And so with that, Ryan, I'll turn it back to you in case you have any questions or want me to go anywhere else.
No, that sounds really good. So we'll start off with Dolores and Mike. Do you have any questions for Steve as of what he's presented up to this point? I forgot to mention at the beginning that today's focus is going to be mostly on cryptogenics just because we happen to have Steve with us here. And so we're going to be talking about that and really understanding the new binary and really understanding, well, I shouldn't say the new binary, the fork of the
right.
And really understanding the mining operations and how they work, because that'll make it a lot easier to pitch when you're trying to, bring people to the next event and bring people to the next call and bring people to the next call. You can start, dropping words like, hey, you can learn how to actually to do actual Bitcoin mining. If you'd like to learn more about that, I'll send you a link and you got to be in at this time. Let me know when you're coming because I'm going to be there too. And then we'll talk after. And then you invite them to the next event, so on and so forth. So Dolores and Mike, do you guys have any questions? Just go ahead and put them right in the chat window or in the Q&A section, whichever you prefer. Meanwhile, Steve, do you have any information about, I did watch the presentation from Brandon that's in the blog there about the Green X, but one of the things I can't find right now is a little bit of information about, what the hash rate kind of turns into potentially for returns for Green X versus Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin Gold. Like I know how to calculate Bitcoin, because there's websites for that based on the amount of hash power that miner has, so you could get your ROI. But is there any information on how to do that for the Green X?
Well, at this point, I mean, I know we're running 12 to 14 terahash on these things, but at this point, we have to, by our SEC lawyer's advice, we have to let the Green X rig run for 30 days before we can give any information legally. And since they haven't started running it yet, we're not allowed to give any information. So then the question would be, well, then why did people buy them? Okay, good question. Okay, real good question. Well, they feel like they're on the front of something. And they've been to the presentations and they feel like they're on the front of something. And the fact that it's not being ICO'd and the fact that it's being mined only, they just, early bird gets the worm. That's what they're looking at. And I feel the same way. So as soon as they go live with the Green X rigs and then they give us 30 days of history of Green X rig and they're on the exchange, because you got to be on the exchange, I mean, I do know some information I can't share. Honestly.
Got it.
But so once we get 30 days down the road after they put the Green X rigs live, at that time we will share all the proper information.
Is there a link to, like, does the Green X have a website for about the actual token? Because if I remember correctly, is it an ERC20 token or is it an Ethereum token?
Actually, we got to back off that because there's a lawsuit going on right now because somebody tried to take the Green X name.
Oh.
Okay. So you could actually Google Green X and find two different things going on.
Got it.
The company that's got the mining rigs owns the name, and they're trying to get the other company who's doing this Green X token or coin to stop. Because there's a legality. The other company cannot be doing that.
I see.
So are you familiar with Green's website?
No, I was looking in the blog and I couldn't find the link to it. So that's just a question that I have because I want to be able to, pitch it well, so to speak, and be able to talk so educated about it, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to text a message right now to somebody while we're talking because I knew the Green website, but it's not popping up when I cleared something out of my computer.
Got it. Okay.
And I'm going to see what it's Green something, or it's something.green, but it's kind of an unusual name, very simple name.
No worries.
They're going to send it to me. I'm sure I'll get it in a matter of seconds.
All right. So it looks like Dolores has a question in the chat there. She asked, is commission the same for customer and promoter sales?
Okay,
We're
yes.
going back to the
Okay. When you do a customer or a promoter sale, you make your $100. But then, since you brought a customer, we pay you a $25 bonus. So actually, the answer is no. You make more money to bring a customer because that's what the largest want.
Mm-hmm.
But then the second part of that is they both count as a point in the binary.
Yeah.
So that keeps that simple. So you actually earn more money up front on the customer sale. So no, it is a little bit different. You get a bonus. The other thing is that, we're looking at customer percentages, and every time we sell a rig, a mining rig, that offsets 12 promoters to 50-50. Okay, so that's a big deal. That offsets 12 promoters. And we really do believe we will become a very large legal mining company in the United States. For us to just come out of the gate, and I've noticed that we've sold like 12 in the last 2 days. And it's just, it's the same thing with building our network. They'll go along with each other. And then there's this huge vein, and I want people to understand when I say, oh man, that mining rig costs $3,750. Oh, that feels expensive. Okay. It's not. And it's not to the world of mining. So to you who might be listening, that might feel expensive. You don't have to buy one. Okay. And you also don't have to buy one to make commissions off selling them, which is what people will ask. You don't have to own that to profit off the sale of that.
Right.
And so there's nothing like that in play. But what you need to understand is there's this huge global market of people wanting to get involved in mining because they're saying that the mining is going to be really big for the next 5 to 7 years and then beyond as new coins and cryptocurrency changes. And so there's this huge market that's really in love with mining. And some of them have gotten involved in some mining scams where like 2 weeks ago, they shut down 2 mining companies, one of them out of Texas. I don't remember the name. I want y'all to know that when you hear that Texas shut someone down, that's really kind of like the U.S. government shutting them down because there's major offices in Texas. And so when you hear that office out of Texas shut that company down, they meant for them to cease and desist nationwide.
That's a big deal.
So what happened was there was a mining company, which I don't remember their name, and a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, they got shut down. They didn't even have any mining rigs anywhere.
Whoa.
Okay? And they were also doing what is not considered to be totally legit here, cloud mining, crowd mining, group mining. Yep. I say all different terms because people use different terms.
Yep.
And what that means is, let's say that there's 5 of us. And so we go to this company and they go, okay, we'll put you 5 inside of that rig. Well, then what they're going to do is they're going to manage the coin in that rig, and they're going to send us 5 RLPs, but they're going to skim it. They're going to deal with it. They're going to play with it.
Yep.
That's not legal here. Right. And so that company that got shut down, they didn't even have mining rigs at all.
Wow.
And they just took in money and built a Ponzi scheme, and that's criminal. That's criminal. And so the reason y'all see me say legal a lot is because we have SEC attorneys. We have top MLM attorneys that we hired at the very beginning. We're financially backed. We're sound financially, which is important to me, or I would not have left the corporate world to come here. I'm not your running network marketer. I'm corporate management. And I just had a dream to teach the world about cryptocurrency. And so I'm following that dream, and it's all going to be legal or I'm not going to be a part of that ship. So I think you might have got another question there.
Yeah, well, Dolores just said thanks for that. So that makes sense. I've got just another question or two just about the mining stuff too. And I meant to actually call you this weekend. I know that I was supposed to do that. So sorry.
No, that's fine.
Got busy with all the family stuff going on. So one of the questions is, okay, if you buy a mining rig and you say Bitcoin, can you change your mind in the future and be able to have control over that miner to be able to move it to Bitcoin Cash or to Bitcoin Private?
Okay. We're discussing that with our lawyers now, because the way they told us to set it up was where it couldn't be changed. That's the way they started us. And so we went down that path. And then just last week, the facility said, hey, are y'all going to want to let people change these? Are you going to want to move to the more productive coin? And so we're taking that back into review because we were only doing what the guidance gave us.
Yep.
And they said, sell them a product,
yep,
let it be specific. And then when you hand them the product, you handed them that specific product. Okay. And so we're going back to see if there is a way that it can be alternating. if it needs to be, to switch from gold to cash or whatever. And so we're checking into that. I want to share this address with you before I forget. It's share.green. Share.green.
Okay, so that's the website for the Green X.
That's the website for the Green X, and it's the world's only proof of power blockchain solution for rising energy costs. Now, see, they're all about green, but what it's going to be is once we get down the road 30 days after you paid your electric bill, if you use the Green X coin to pay your electric bill, what kind of revenue is this generating? So that's why people get involved in mining, is because they want to make money. Okay.
That's really cool. Yeah, because I want to learn more about that, because I'm fascinated by the, just the little tidbits that I heard from Brandon in his presentation. And I heard the first time he did the presentation, so I haven't heard one since then where he's gotten more information, but he's like, this is new. Like, I'm just learning this today kind of thing, and he's doing the presentation. So
right.
It's beautiful. It's fun to be on the cutting edge of that stuff. Okay, I think, that pretty much answers all of my questions about the mining aspect, the mining rigs. The only other questions I have are a little bit more logistic questions, like once you put it into that space, what are the fees associated with them taking care of your equipment and that kind of stuff? Because I was trying to find that on the website and I couldn't. What I'm talking about?
Actually, that's something I need to have y'all. I need to have the mining guy do a call with you. I need to let them answer those questions for you.
Okay.
I've been in 2 presentations where the mining has been presented, but I'll be the first to admit I'm not a mining guy.
Yep.
I just think I should admit that. And so I've become very intrigued with this Green X. I'm sitting there watching people buy Green X and the other ones, but I'm very intrigued with the Green X because, to me, I want the more coins. I want the one that's going to generate the more coins, a new coin at the beginning, at the gate, and then if there's always the if this does anything what they think it could do, it would have been great to be there. And so that's how they explain it. If you've been in Bitcoin in the beginning and you got those coins and you hadn't given them up for 2 pizzas or something like that, it could have really been beneficial. And so that's why the Green X is drawing so much attention. There's serious people behind it. There's serious money behind it. I can't give the numbers. When they go to that conference, they'll give everything they can, but they have been doing Green X calls for us from Green X. So I'd be more than happy to set some kind of interview up for you with Green X if you'd like to do that.
Yeah, I think that would be great. I would love to get them on even my YouTube channel, and then we can kind of pass that down and make it helpful for everybody. Anything that I can do to help spread the word about this stuff, and even help with the education aspect too, to get the word out. I'm definitely willing. So
okay,
I think it'd be great.
All right. Anything else, Ryan?
I don't think I have any other questions. How about Dolores or Mike? Do you guys have any questions for Steve while we have him here? So while they're potentially going to their keyboard, sounds like Steve, if you have to, Dolores said no, but just kind of wait on Mike for a second. Steve, after this call, if you don't mind, I might, if you have a couple of minutes, I might want to just give you a quick call after this, if that's okay with you.
Okay, do that.
All right. Other than that, I don't, seeing no more questions, I guess we'll just kind of start the process of wrapping up and just setting some goals for next week. So Steve, thank you so much for being here with us today and presenting and educating us on the fork of the binary, because that was fascinating to see. Just, the incentives that you guys are putting out there, the generosity that I'm seeing. And I have to tell you, I love the culture that is being produced by Kgx. When I talk to everybody related to Kgx, I had Rick Ricketts on in one of our last webinars. I've talked to Brandon before and a couple of these other people, and the culture is just real good, high quality people, and I appreciate the organization that you guys are building, and I'm very, very excited to be a part of it and to bring it to friends and family, people that I know personally, not just strangers in the street. I'm bringing friends and family and people that trust me and that I trust into this, because it's a trust organization, and
yes, it is.
I really appreciate that, and I appreciate all the hard work that you put into making it, and look forward to doing my part to helping this thing grow. And so our goals now that we're going to be setting for the next webinar is we're still working on the power of 2. So Dolores and Mike, I'm going to ask you guys to commit with me to inviting 2 people to the next Cryptogenics webinar, and those are listed both on the Cryptogenics corporate blog as well as on my Patreon site, where we see them at 9 o'clock. Hey, pull those up for a second. Do you have that on your screen there, Steve? The webinars, there, the Zoom calls. Here they are. So 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday through Thursday, and on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday they're at 3 p.m. also. And I think there's another set at 2. But all you need to do is just go to kgxglobal.info, send your leads there, and ask them when they're going to be there, and be on the same call as them, and then contact them immediately after, and then you invite them to the next call, and you invite them to the next call, and then you invite them to have a conversation with me, and you invite them to have a conversation with Jody, and you keep on doing that until they understand, you get the big picture, and then join up. So that's going to be our goal for the next week, is we're going to try to get 2 people to get to 1 call. You guys agree with that? Dolores and Mike, just go ahead and say, yep, if you agree, write in the chat, and we'll let Stephen get back to his crazy schedule here, and I will get back to doing what I got to do today. So anyway, thanks, Steve. I'll let you go. And then
thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Have a great evening. All right, guys, thank you so much for being on here with me. Dolores and Mike, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys being here. And I appreciate each and every person who's watching this after the fact, who is watching the recorded version of this. I appreciate you guys being on the Simple Passive Crypto Income team. And I look forward to serving you guys in the next webinar, in the next YouTube video, in the next email, or however else I can help you. Please make sure that you know that I'm available to you for calls, for Zoom calls, anything that you might need. And just jump in, send an email. I won't know if you need help. I won't know unless you reach out to me. So please make sure that you do that, because I'm thrilled to be able to help build this team, because that's what this is all about, getting as many people into cryptocurrency investing as possible. And we're going to start with training them using Cryptogenics. All right? So have a great evening, everybody. And we're going to end a little bit early tonight, but I appreciate you guys being on the call. Have a great night, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Ryan Berkness and team out.